The time is yours, and I'll go ahead and turn the floor over to you at this time, Mr. President.
Here, Speaker, Budget, Pesh Bahasan, Basandagido, Bayanski.
Question of privilege, Speaker.
Yes, question of privilege, Madam Chair Charles. Mr. President, please hold on real quick, Mr. President. Madam Chair.
Shaja, I apologize for interrupting you, President Nez. Shatila, Speaker Damon, was the report from the President's office emailed to us? I don't see that in the packet that has been given, that was prepared for us. That's my question of privilege. Thank you.
We just now got that 2 minutes ago, a minute ago. We're sending that out right now.
Thank you, Shatila.
Thank you, Mr. President. We do have that. We did get your written document, so we're sending that out to colleagues. So we'll go ahead and give you the floor at this time now, Mr. President. Floor's yours.
All right. Nana, here, Speaker, Ado, Kodo, Naga, Nido, here needs Shuna, Nishi, Nan, Ido, Desti, Nakinana, Kodo, Ishi, Askanicho, and Hinanishida, Nishti, Jodina, Kodo, Naga, that is Yikeni Hinne, Ishi Benacha Naso, Kodon, Dahit, Ado, Desnihidne, Ba. Ado quado di Kosinskagi nas it's at Nasnigi, jo kodo Bikijin de Baho, the Quishi Ndez Ado or Hien Hidini do the Speshmas and Nothinigi, Quichiko and Hinanishidash, any Nepa, Kanazner, don't Nothinigi, John need Yadini, Kanazner, and Jinigi. Put out the Hanes, Nado, Caribbean, Shidish, Bahe needs, Naha needs to know that the Nekodoshan Abish, Vice President Myron Lizer, Ado Kon Nahanda, Nishigia, Kon Nahanda, Bagi, Edo, here, the Nido, this Rashin, Zel, Indan, Linigi, it's loud and Linigi, Le Nahanda, Nishigia, Queeching, Naha. That Nigi Edo a here the Nido les con Chen a cane of Finigi Ninda Craigie Ado Dinas Nigido the Quishin des Nachchen do das Trau Ado Hikani Hidnedo don Dalnisha Haradon Danish Ado Nachchindo Hagado Daustra. Akon the she, here or is done in Antindon, his she could all be bear, which Ashtane de Ya. A day besped a husband, Hagan has on and on Nishigi, Edo Kodo, on Antinigishi, which a Kode Yaani, so by Henitson. Ado Kondo, lay Washington, the door, added a need. Not Ani Alia, Alaj da Sadagia, Ado Keren da Sadagi, Jo Kodo, the Nani Glini, Bukai Jail, in Nachetahana Snap, Akon, Nihe Ade, the Nil Odo, the Nihinas on Ekot as Kadi Jato, Nihina Nishida di Nito da no, what else on Hichikoda Yilda, Ado Kodo Sa. He came in the net and Lenigi at not Ani does Lane. The Christina Haswood, Ainley, Kansas State, a year Havanja, not Ani Selite, and then long. Kare Aja Hahot Zorgia, not Ani Selene, Bahel, Jokodo in Hashin, became seats, Dinos Tratabdi, no. Ado not Ani Dado says, Nene, Chukari Aja hold G, stick at the neck. That nes Taniki A, Kansas, J. Aja, Hahot Zorge, a year of Anjanat Ani Celine. Ado Shamado, Deborah Ann Bigay, A. Koje, Hos Doje, Aja, A. Anohui ahi dan linigi justice of the peace. Je ajiba avatnik de lanshi to the nan linigi ya da is never benachet nes da. Do ba hehnitzen jo kon hikeni hidne yego da istra. Dobena nishida ilai benachet. Kon lego nat ani das lane. Ado bukagish kijidot an linigi kadnat ani sa da betil ya koje. Washington, Deborah Holland, Washington, Gilbert Hazen, Kwaji Celeste, Secretary of Interior, with Yeji Ajin Nakatanta, Yedibushi Bisindale Nestole, Da Bisper Hazen, Kon, the Ashla Nesnat Dindo, La, Enelt Gia, Kagish, the Shladin Hahotsogo, Kedahat, Inigi Bahadas Zogia. Besperhas and Ja, Kagish Kijinle. So Ashi Benache Kon Bishinde Nestole, Deborah Hall. So the Washington Dan has Kegi not Aning Dan Lenigi, Ashi Kodo not sauce, Kadelia. Adon hikon peshmas an dan linigi do put out sadigi not sauce. Bakada ne Ashivich Kudad net or the Josh Ladin Zogia I da ne a team Josh and the dos nish Ladin Hahot Zoj Ado Dido Besh Chi Naskuda dos nish Tuda. Die agi die bindal kirigido bida hulnehegi esa adalia do eshi do nasto kodo nista di no what kadi jash in fini di Washington ja asa das kehegi katjo ani gadi pa gadi te do ya di kosin tsagi do die nasnegi jo ato skokon nache connecta azze bikejina nishigi la ashon pahasli Moderna Pfizer de hinigi ya kon hiked hinne ba biche alia sashi nada ast die zegi ya ashon die the Kosinskagi Nafnigi ya Bikijit na Nishto Leftoy Konihik any never that was not a conde Nahast Nesnatin Doba so sitting Doba Tra Nelt Konihik any hidne and it's at a jitten Ado the Yenshi now the English. So Ashi do kon hikeni hidna but jado but das stiligi Ashi do but so the zendo le do kon can see zindo le do kon sa lan hikeni hidna but that was not was and the which is between the has tea upon the but so the zeno age do kahot ashkena thing ado the nicht sehr do nicht chin das hier kontra da doch ka schon ado hastra tsinstra honet ekon ado ya da hier non sa kon ich kodelia kon ich in ado nicht la do khalo washbe khada kis ado hagan da so zebaz linte Hadainoshne, the constant hikane hidna ato zelje padalne. Ado at ispa hayaje, ajen hinana shidas, ingi, a hen hiti nido le. Kon Nahanda ba, don Nahanda nashidi ba henitsen. Dr. Jill Zim, Kwajen Nha Atsilidane, Linigi, Department of Health, Ajen Hadasita. Ado Ada Bikini on Lay Washington the advisory board it's not ani dan Linigi kon not ani ba gani ke Shinigi Biden Harris Ada Tratasata نخيلت بنينا كون الكا نيجها الزيديني كي الزيد نيجي كدوز نيست دي نو جو كون نيجي هنا هستخدين دوبا اشلا دوبا بندا خاجي كون بعد سيتو بتشيس بتشنت هستيجي ايدو كو حد اينوسنا كون الزيد لا نيجي كندال إيه كون نيجي هنا Massan ich chain hinala sabada dot sittadi no do kuje zel inje bada hayaj do aro nakhandal neshigiya kwije nakhandal neshigi do kon peso la badeni ke la kwijin khandal nesh hazard pay they no special duty pay that they no jo kon dal kon bedat os nagi yedego yisindal neshigi hot yasa peso jo kodos lista di no hot shin ya bande tido desnad animi klinigi so kodoshi besh an yanda tido des kon he kodo bekensi zigo kon you Washington jindal neshigi kon biche peso kodal neto ado hatnia di Washington it's ispa hayaj large it's a thing linigi ishido kon Rear Admiral Michael Wiyaki aja tasata na nashila edo aheda bidi nido de jo kati ani not ani dabidi yagi Eshin ben Nash do nas benamish ille tadodle akon the heshi akon the bitzaski akon tahmta Indian Health Service to Washington dekon zel in daz neligi Eshi kida des intodle heshi large itzilit de ille todle Eshi kodo Biden do Harris asalado le heshi kidi nitodle Ako here shita bidi nido des aro Roslyn so aja ko Navajo area Navajo nation jaha zoja di kon das neligi azel in das neligi kides ako sa asati senhestina ani aja ya yikidades ot kunnes je asati aro soy medical center jado asati aro kuje ganaro jado asati ako kodo ya ahe nkhada bidi nido lefnani shide lagi so laba hanne in the not so sein kiche kodelia shnat ainos lengi beshwas anos lengi eshido denos khato de ko kodoshi ya ni vice president shna which equashleto de to ajdo kodo sanchi ye hatzito de bindil nishi vice president
Oh, yeah, Mr. President. Alrighty, there we go. Sorry, technology. All right, there we go. Always got the techie on hand to take care of us. We appreciate it. Vice President Liza here, Comanche the Shle Tohan, Foster's team, Comanche the Chiche, Tosh the Chanel. It's good to be with you here at the winter session of our Navajo Council. So we appreciate it. Yateo, Vice President here, and happy birthday to NTUA, Navajo Tribal Utility Authority. 62 years ago, they came and they set up shop, and we have been blessed ever since with power and water and sewage and raw sewage treatment and broadband. And we look forward to many more years of being with them. So far, we appreciate their commitment and hard work. They have aided 719 of our Navajo families with electricity, and they help provide basic services and amenities to improve their quality of life. We appreciate this and take this opportunity to thank General Manager Walter House and Deputy General Manager Rex Kuntz, and all the hundreds of men and women who are serving right now. 747 employees total. They're working hard. Some of them 24 hours, 7 days a week. They're on call, and they're helping us spend and complete the CARES Act funded projects. And so they work 10 hours a day sometimes, including weekends and including most holidays. So we appreciate them just trying to get all of those projects done there. They're first responders, and they're helping all of our people here across the Navajo Nation. So far, the Navajo Nation has received 49,700 doses of both vaccines. They're talking about Pfizer and the Moderna, and approximately half of those doses have been administered. With the long 57-hour weekend curfews now lifted, they're able to continue to do vaccine drives on the weekends, and also our businesses will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. On 7 days a week daily. And so we appreciate all of that. On our hardship assistance, in regards to the CARES Act Hardship Assistance Program, we thank the Office of the Controller and all of their employees for their long hours of hard work over the last several months to oversee and administer this program and the expenditure of CARES Act dollars. We can all agree that this has been vitally needed by our people, and so we appreciate this rollout and the hard work by all over at OOC. We ask all of our people to remain patient as checks are mailed and delivered in the coming days and weeks. We have asked for a staggered rollout, so all of our people are not at once receiving their checks and their money in their bank accounts and going and traveling and going to border towns or local metropolitan areas. We want our people to continue to be safe during this pandemic because we're not out of it yet. We also take this opportunity to use this time to advocate for the campaign Buy Navajo, Buy Local. We all stay safe and we stay more local, and thus we mitigate our exposure potentially. Our schools have been closed, as you know, in this pandemic. Nez Ly's administration continues to advocate for school closures and doing everything virtually, meeting virtually. And so, there's a great need for us to all work as leaders together to bring more enhanced broadband, more internet capability in all 110 of our chapters and all of those areas in between. As you know, our people live throughout the Navajo Nation. We're so broad, but our population is not dense. We have to go out like capillaries, all the way out, internet capillaries to every deep reach of our Navajo Nation to bring quality broadband to our children, and so they can get their work done, and also our health professionals. So we appreciate that. Also, business and artisan relief and the enterprise relief fund. This COVID-19 pandemic has also taken its toll on our Navajo businesses, our Navajo Nation enterprises, and with the support of the 24th Navajo Nation Council and also the leadership of our executive director at Navajo Economic Development, Mr. J.T. Willie and his staff, the Navajo Nation was able to provide over $29 million in CARES Act funds to 4,372 business owners and artisans for much needed relief. Again, we continue to advocate that once you get that, to use it to pay for any of shortage that you may need to pay the bills to make ends meet, but also to be safe when you do recover financially from this year. We've all been impacted by this pandemic, and so we appreciate that. We also appreciate our Navajo Nation enterprises who have contributed financially with humanitarian efforts, and they've made donations and given us a lot of financial benefit that we passed along to our people. So we appreciate all of our enterprises here as we are, again, all in this together. We also have our assassin fund revenues. When it comes to our nation's revenue and funding sources, our administration has always cautioned against overspending, especially when it involves our nation's trust funds, unreserved, undesignated fund balance, and the assassin fund. As of November 30th of the last year, 2020, Madam Controller reported that our current balance of the assassin fund is approximately $426 million. And you know that we have such great need here, especially after NGS closed and Kienta Peabody Mine closed. We've lost about 1,000 jobs right there, and declining and dwindling revenues. We need to really be diligent and mindful of what fund we do have here on the Navajo Nation. And so we also, we applaud, again, the recent signing of the omnibus bill. President Trump signed the Utah Navajo Water Rights Settlement Act, which has been a long time coming. So we appreciate all those champions that have laid their pen, their mind, their advocacy to this great work, which culminated in the signing. And now we have all of this money that we could bring these projects to bear, bring water to those who need it in southeastern Utah and northern Arizona there. It's going to be a needed. I just want to give a shout out to Utah Governor Gary R. Herbert, former governor, and the new Utah Governor, Spencer Cox, Senator Mitt Romney, Congressman Rob Bishop, Ben McAdams, former Senators Tom Udall and Senator Martha McSally, the Navajo Nation Washington office, and under their leadership of Executive Director Santee Lewis and many others involved in this great achievement for our nation. And so, Mr. President, the Special Diabetes Program is something that we're really happy that it got reauthorized to the tune of those millions of dollars that are needed. And so this 3-year reauthorization is a great achievement, but we will continue to advocate for a permanent extension with increased funding. And so the Healthy Dene Nation Act, as you remember, that was recently passed here and handled by our 24th Navajo Nation Council. So we appreciate the reauthorization of that. And then lastly, we have Navajo Department of Transportation projects. We are working with Executive Director Garrett Silversmith, who's done a lot. Navajo Route 57 in 6730 near Black Falls are these ongoing projects, and also Navajo Route 12 in Saley Wheatfields area. Continued work, even in this winter time, we need to bring these projects to fruition.
Mr. Vice President.
So with their leadership, we're getting a lot of this
Mr.
done.
Vice
So
President.
we appreciate this. Thank you, Mr. President, for your exemplary leadership. And we appreciate
Mr. Vice President.
the Navajo Nation Council.
Mr. Speaker
Thank you
Damon.
for this time.
Mr. Vice President. Mr. President, I can ask my colleagues for an additional 10 minutes. If you want me to request that on your behalf, Mr. President.
Thank you, Speaker. That would be great. We would appreciate it.
If there's no objections, has to be in 100% consensus for additional 10 minutes. I don't have any objections on the floor. There's no objections. Mr. President, you have additional 10 minutes.
All right. Well, thank you again, and I will do this portion in English. Thank you, Speaker, and thank you to the 24th Navajo Nation Council and all our dignitaries from the chapter level to the schools, state and federal elected officials. Let me go to the school closure. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the Navajo Nation Board of Education and Department of Education and our administration, including the 24th Navajo Nation Council, have stated that we will be going online to protect our school faculty and our students from this virus. And we've continued to advocate for that up to this point. And I want to let the teachers know that we appreciate the hard work that they are doing on behalf of the Navajo people and their students. Some teachers are beginning to get their vaccinations in various service units throughout the Navajo Nation. And the other item I wanted to bring to the council's attention is the CHISN projects that we recognize that there was a legislation that was forward for equipment, and we are in the process of vetting those projects right now and going through them line by line. It's a big task right now in the amount of $63 million, but I do know that we will be complete at least by the end of this week on vetting those. And there's a lot of heavy equipment. See, this heavy equipment was to be funded through the CARES Act funds. But because of the internal deadlines, we weren't able to place these equipment purchases on that. But here, the CHISN is being recommended for purchasing those items. On January 2nd, the Navajo Police Training Academy graduated 8 newly commissioned police officers, which increased the presence of officers in our communities. The new officers are Aaron C. Brown, Clayton Balone, Ryan Draper, Venecia Valenzuela, Arrow Dosella, Henry Antonio Jr., Nathaniel Watson, and Jasmine Peaches. We want to congratulate Class 55 for the hard work and becoming police officers here on the Navajo Nation. As we begin to slowly get back to some normalcy, not just here on Navajo, but all across the country, there has been a lot of projects that have been on. And one of those projects we want to work together on, and I know that the Navajo Hopi Land Commission is considering putting some of their allocations into this housing manufacturing facility for the former Bennett Freeze area. Over the last several months, our Veterans Administration Executive Director, James Rohrlein, has put together a plan, a housing manufacturing facility. There's a smaller version in San Benito to begin veterans housing development. What we're wanting to do is to create a larger facility so that we can be able to build modern day hogans for our veterans and those that are not able to help themselves. And for those that want to purchase the homes, they can do so as well. And we also are going to introduce the sweat equity, meaning that families that are getting these homes built will also be a part of constructing their homes for themselves. And that's a way to empower our citizens and to also, give them a sense of community, because family members and community members can come and assist them as well. Scholarships. Thank you to the council. $2.5 million was allocated, and those were monies that were supposed to come through the BIA to the nation. But because of this transition, the monies have yet to come here. Times in the past, this has happened before. And so we had to use our own money until they give us, the BIA gives us the money, it'll get replenished back into the UUFB. But we didn't want our students to fall behind. So council allocated $2.5 million. And thank you for that. And $150,000 extra was given to the Navajo Nation in the higher education program as well. And I'd like to announce that to the folks out there that are wanting to go back into getting an education. We are going to repackage our $50 million scholarship trust so that we can fund a lot more college students in the future. And so thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm going to give the remaining time to our Vice President for additional updates. Thank you so much, Speaker, for allowing us to have additional time. Vice President.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. And give me this time to give a shout out to you, Mr. Speaker, another 2 years. Looking forward to continuing collaboration with you on various projects and for your leadership. So, and then lastly, as our president shared, we, 24th Navigation Council and the branches are working on a new permanent trust fund 5-year plan. And so that's unfolding as we speak. The initial discussions have shown that there's need for continued collaboration. And so when they hammer out that next 5-year plan, it'll be with all of these things we mentioned in consideration. So thank you for your leadership there. Again, at 24th Nomination Council and Mr. Speaker. Also on the agenda before you, our council delegates, is the Navajo Nation Washington property. Utilizing the Land Acquisition Trust Fund to purchase property in Washington, D.C. We are hopeful. We're hopeful and prayerful that you all see fit to own the Navajo Nation's property for the nation to quit throwing money away on a lease and on continued rent. Let's start creating some value. Anytime you take to make money, create money, you have to spend a little money in the beginning. So we appreciate your leadership on that there. We do want to welcome a new EPA director. As you know, Mr. Oliver Whaley has resigned be with family and to aid family in this pandemic and to just we appreciate his leadership up to this point, but we also know that we need to continue to go on. And so we have appointed Ms. Belinda Shirley to serve as the new executive director. And so prior to her appointment, she served as a senior remedial project manager for the Navajo Nation EPA Superfund. So she's well-rounded, she's well knowledgeable about what happened over there at our Navajo EPA. So we appreciate her joining the team, and we're praying that she'll be confirmed along with the sponsorship of Council Delegate Kian Begay. We thank him for his leadership. And so in closing, I'd just like to take this time to let's take this pandemic as we leave it in our rearview mirror. What with the vaccines that have come onto our nation, and whether they're Pfizer or Moderna, there's going to be a continuing peace of mind, safety net, so to speak, within our Navajo people who are consuming, and they're going to be more confident as they travel abroad. And so you're going to see our nation just starting to almost blossom. Probably around springtime, it'll just start emerging as if they were in a deep slumber. And so as we look forward to that, we appreciate your leadership there in our 24th Navajo Nation Council. The Nez Leiser philosophy of executive leadership is pretty simple. Set big goals, offer solutions, but stay open to new ideas, and we'll work together on how to achieve them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. President and Vice President. With that, colleagues, we did hear the State of the Nation address from the President of the Navajo Nation and also the Vice President of the Navajo Nation. With that call, could we get a motion? Motion by Honorable Holona, second by Honorable Freeland. That we do have